Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to day number 2 of the 7-day online boot camp. But I got a quick question for you. Are you ready for change? Are you ready to do something different in your life? Because I know if you hear, that means you are. You know, it's very possible that you're just tired of the same old things that are going on out there. Or just maybe you want to be free to roam around the world. Or maybe you're like Bill Blue, a gentleman that I just got into the business. He actually sells financial products like annuities, insurance, things of that nature. And he wanted to get more leads coming into his business. So even if you own a brick and mortar business, even if you own a brick and mortar business, you can still apply these same skills. So it's all about creating the value that you bring to the world is what it's all about. That's how you get paid as an entrepreneur. And I know if you're here, that means you have some type of entrepreneurial spirit within inside of you. And today we're going to talk about a few of those things. But I want to share with you a couple philosophies that I have in my life. The first one is, you already found out, is done is better than perfect. Because I found out that imperfection is the best way that we are who we are. And I think that's an absolute gift that you have. Another thing that I learned is by one of my favorite mentors out there, who unfortunately has passed away naturally. And I call him a mentor because I believe in a lot in what he talked about, and it's Albert Einstein. In fact, his birthday is coming up here pretty soon. If you're watching this video now, that means you caught it recently. And he has a quote in there that really changed my life. And the quote went, "Try and not become a man or a woman of success, but rather try and become a man or a woman of value." And that directly correlates with exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to get paid based on how much value you actually bring to the world. And that's exactly what I'm here to share with you today, is how you can bring value through a system. So in our 7-day online business boot camp, I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm going to talk about the importance of actually how to figure out what your message is. I'm going to talk the importance about having a blog, getting traffic to it, capturing the information, having an autoresponder to build a relationship with people, and always to have a call of action. We're going to talk about those things today. So let me just tell you a little bit more about my story. If you read my email that you got yesterday, I owned a company that I started out with my business partner back in about 2003, and we ended up doing about, I don't know, something like $40 million in sales over the next 10 years period of time. Everything was going great, but then unfortunately the market crashed. Now, I can tell you that our construction company was so strong at the time that we're actually doing okay, and we pulled ourselves out of it. What the real problem was is that I had not dealt with the things that had held me back in my life. And so eventually we ended up separating, going different ways. I brought other partners in. One thing led to another. Ended up in a bunch of lawsuits in construction, unfortunately, based on the new partner I brought in. So I decided, you know what, after 10 years of working 80, 90-hour weeks, hustling, having tons of liability, and in that business having tons of trailing liability, it was just time for me to get out. And so I claimed bankruptcy. In fact, I'm still going through that. I'm on the last leg of it, thank God. And the reason why is because when you have so many assets, it just takes so long to go through that. So, you know, maybe you're in the same position I'm in, or you've been in something similar. We all got affected by that crash. But its reality is we all have to accept responsibility for what we do in our life. You know, and if you're ready to do that right now, maybe you just click the link below and it takes you to the video and you can start plugging into a system that already works. You know what? If not, no big deal. We'll get there. Let's talk about the important things about what I'm going to talk about today. Today I actually have a number 5 system. There's going to be 5 steps I'm going to talk about. I want to get you educated because this is part of the value that I'm going to bring to you today. I want to educate you on a couple things based on my experience from my past business. And by the way, I've been a business owner and entrepreneur for about 18 plus years, so I might have learned a couple of things. And I'm always an open book and willing to share these things because I fully believe that we live in the information age, and the more information I can share with you, the better of a person you can become. And that's a lot of where my heart is at. So just thanks for hanging out with me today. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is number 1. What does KSEFAA stand for? Of course, no, you're not actually in an eye test, although it may look like that. The KSEFAA stands for, first one is knowledge. And that's what I'm going to give you here today, is I'm going to give you some knowledge based on the opportunity that was presented to you and will be presented to you again. The second thing is going to talk about a strategy and how you can use this. Third thing is we're going to talk about execution, which is also called action. Fourth thing in this is feedback. And the last one is adjust accordingly. Now, this is actually a very simple way to look at any business plan. In fact, this is a very simple way to actually look at a life plan if you really boil it down. Because today you're gaining some knowledge. You opted into an opportunity. You got some knowledge yesterday. I'm giving you some more knowledge today. You have to come up with a strategy. And when you come up with that strategy, you actually map it out. You plan it out. Now, does it always go as planned? No. But as long as you take action and execute it, that action is going to give you some feedback. And based on that feedback, you have to start adjusting accordingly. That's step number one, and I want to make sure you understand that because that's what we do every day as humans. At least that's what we should be trying to do. Number two here is the market. Is there a viable market for your product? Meaning, are there people out there that are currently looking for what you have to offer? And it doesn't matter if you're like earlier before where you want to plug into a system and make things happen and just follow a step-by-step, or if you own a small business, or maybe you have a storefront, or maybe you have what they call a brick and mortar, not a brick and motor, but you have that and you just want to get more leads coming in the door, and that's totally fine. You can apply the same principles through the internet by using a blog, by attracting clients so that you can be found, and that is the key word, found. But you got to make sure that your product is actually viable. Are people out there actually looking for it? And there's ways to go about figuring and doing that and doing your research up front before you dive in to figure out what product you offer. If you already have one, you know who your target market is, great. Great, we're going to talk about your target market later. Third thing we have here is BCCA. What does that stand for? Blog, content, consistency, and audience. You notice how audience keeps showing back up. We talked about that just a second ago. But how does a blog actually work? A blog is like having real estate online. Once you have it on there, it doesn't go away. It just keeps multiplying. And the whole idea about having a blog online, and we're going to dive into more of this over the next 7 days, is that you actually have your blog. And just imagine you're on an island right now. And this island, you're all by yourself. There's nobody around. There's going to be no plane coming by to pick you up. There's no boat. There's going to be no rope drop for you. What you see in the distance, as I can see Coronado Island actually out my window here, what you see here in the distance is you see an island. And that island has tons of people that actually want to use your product and buy your product and would love to have your product. But here's the thing. How do you get those people from an island over there when you're stranded by yourself? Simple. You build a bridge. And what is a bridge? A bridge is a blog. That's exactly what it is. It's an island that you have a piece of real estate on. And when you start learning how to build those bridges like you can in the system, and those bridges start linking out to those islands full of those people that have all the products you want to buy, what will happen? They'll all turn around and be like, hey, I really like that island over there. I like Derek's island over there. Maybe I should go hang out with him. Because who doesn't like an open beach? And how does that not sound sexy to you right now, right? So that's what the simplicity of what a blog is. It's real estate online, and the goal is to build bridges between you and your clients out there. And you do that by attraction, by being found. How do you do that? You build content. You build content that speaks directly to your clients and who they are. And there's a lot of ways about building content. But one of the most important things, I always say content is king and consistency is his queen. And what I mean by consistency, as long as you're consistently pumping out content, and it's a lot simpler actually, there's a few really easy shortcuts out there that will teach you, the system will teach you inside, and actually how to go do that. We're going to talk about that here in a minute with some SEO keyword research and ways to create traffic. And then of course, the last one is, remember I was talking about building that bridge? It is building that bridge from your island to the other island to where your audience is already hanging out. If you do these 4 things every single day, then eventually you will start attracting clients. This is a foolproof system, guaranteed. Why? Because Empower has actually proven this time and time again. In fact, there's people who have made millions of dollars just in the last couple of years following this proven system. I myself plugged into it just last September, pardon me, and I'm already starting to see results from the things that I'm doing, which is pretty cool. because I actually started blogging November 1st, and since then I think I've cranked out like 40 blogs and like something like 28 YouTube videos. So that's step number 3. What is number 4 here? Number 4 here is extremely important. It's traffic. Now there's actually 2 types of traffic out there. Technically there's actually 3. There's on and offline traffic. What we're going to spend our time talking about today is actually online traffic. And in online traffic, there's 2 types of traffic. There's organic and there's paid. No matter what you do, the goal is to drive both of those back to the blog. And when we get to the blog, we capture their information. You've been on websites before that you've actually put your email address in there. That's actually called capturing your email information. So what happens then? Let's talk about what happens in this stage here on the organic side. See, there's things that you've heard before called SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. There are things out there called keywords. Keywords are certain words that your audience or the person that your clients that you're looking to attract is putting in online, whether it's in Google, whether it's in Bing, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Amazon. People are putting in how to do things, how to find things. And as long as you understand what those keywords are, then you can position them properly with your blog so that you can be found. Now this is what's great about this, is a blog is a great long-term solution, which is amazing. That's what's awesome about it. The other part of some organic is actually social media. My favorite ones are Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Now I have all of those working. I have them all tied together. I have bridges that are actually bringing all those together, and they're working harmoniously, which is really cool. Now the other part of traffic is called paid. CPC, solo ads, or you could actually buy other people's list and you could have them send traffic to you. So what is CPC? It's click per click. So every time somebody clicks on your ad, then you actually pay money to do that. There's a way that you can do the CPC in Facebook. There's a way that you can do that on Google AdWords. There's all these different ways you can do it, but what I wanted to make sure you understand here today, or share with you today, pardon me, is the fact that what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all of our traffic driven back to our blog, and we're trying to capture that information. So that in a nutshell is what this business is about. There's also some additional knowledge here. You know what? And you may want to, decide to go ahead and click the button below and dive right in, because I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about something here in a second. I have a bonus coming. But let me share with you about the amazing people that are part of this opportunity. There's this group we call the 8FM, and it's led by a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Tam. Lawrence Tam is a retired engineer. He's 33 years old. He's made about $2 million in the last 3 years following the exact same system that I plugged into that you're going to plug into. He followed the exact same 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here in a second. He plugged into those things. There's Tracy Walker, who you've already seen on the video. There's John Oakes, you also seen on the video that you've watched as well too. I've met these people. They're amazing speakers, and they're just here to share the opportunity. They're here to help us move forward. And every week in the 8FM that Lawrence Tam runs, we actually have about 50-60 people, and he leads this up and he tells us exactly the steps he took. And in fact, in this closed Facebook group that I'm a part of and that you'll be a part of, he actually teaches you step by step, step by step, exactly how he did this. Plus there's just tons and tons of tutorials and things in the background. I liken this to basically connecting the dots. Remember connecting the dots when you were a little kid? You started on 1, you went to 2, you went to 3, you went to 4, and eventually sooner or later you always seem to end up with a dinosaur or a bike or a truck or a Santa Claus or a Christmas tree or whatever it is. That's exactly what this system allows you to do. It allows you to connect things dot to dot. Cool. So number 5. Let's talk about number 5. So I want to talk just a quick second about target market and what I mean by target market. See, in my construction company that we actually had, we had a target market and we didn't even know what it was at this time. Because our construction dealt with natural disasters. And when a natural disaster happens, of course, it's never a pretty scene by any means. I remember spending some time down in New Orleans when the actual flood came in and hit there. Hurricane Katrina, actually. I've spent time in St. Louis, Dallas, Chicago, DC, Racine, Wisconsin, and Denver, Colorado, of course, my hometown. What happens when a tornado or a hurricane or anything like that happens? You have a very secluded area of people that need you right now. They need you like yesterday because their houses are destroyed, their cars are turned over. I mean, I've seen things that I don't want anybody to ever see, but it's just part of life, right? But what there was a very condensed group of people that needed what we had. And what we had is we had the ability to come and assess it. We had the ability to find the people to work on it. We had the ability to get the materials in there and get it fixed. That is so important to be able to figure out how to do that. Because otherwise, what I love to call it actually is ignorance on fire. We have these great ideas, something cool happens to us, and we would just want to run. We think, oh my gosh, I just want to take this to the world. But the reality is you've got to slow down and figure out who your target market is. How to figure out how to drive targeted traffic back to your blog, either organically or paid. And how you're going to do that is you got to gain some knowledge. You got to come up with a strategy, which is already prepared for you, by the way. You got to take the action. That's something you have to do, is you have to show up and take action or execute. You get some feedback, and of course you adjust accordingly. These are the 5 things that I want to give you this base foundation to understand. So if you're ready and you're ready to jump on board, and of course you'll get to hang out with me too. In fact, we'll talk on the phone. In fact, we'll become really close friends. If you decide to especially come all in, we'll be spending a lot of time on the phone. So if you're ready, just click the button below, get into the system, listen to what Tracy has to say, listen to what John Oakes has to say. There's so many amazing people that are actually on that video. And these people all started out exactly where you're at. Here's the reality, is time is going to pass you by. In 1 year, in fact, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year from now is going to happen in your life. You can either stay where you're at right now, or you can make a conscious decision today to actually move forward. That's your choice. But I will share with you, the whole thing about this stuff is that you're plugging into a system. You're plugging into something that's already been proven. There's no sense of reinventing the wheel. You might as well just jump on board and let the wheel do its thing. It's kind of like a tire, right? Kind of like a wheel and a tire. When you have a wheel and tire, you have to have spokes. That's what keeps the wheel from not compressing when there's weight gets on it. What this opportunity is, it's a wheel, and there's spokes that are already in there. All you have to do is learn how to put those spokes in order, just like connecting those dots. And when you have those spokes in order, which will happen in time if you dedicate enough time to do it, you will figure out, you will have the keys to the world. Because once you learn how to do any of this, you learn how to do all of this, then you'll be able to sell anything online that you want to sell. Today we're just giving you the opportunity to start gaining that knowledge, and coming up with a strategy, and learning how to execute, and learning how to take back control of your life and so chasing your dreams. Because to me, I've been chasing my dream. That's why I've been an entrepreneur for 18 plus years. And I have a certain way that I like to live life. And that's just not monetarily. It's harmoniously, it's spiritually, it's physically, and who I want to hang around with. And I like hanging around with people that are amazing. Because you are the sum of all the people you hang around. So go ahead and click the link below. Watch a video. Get all in. Let's chat. Let's hang out. Maybe you can come hang out with me here in San Diego. Enjoy this gorgeous weather. Although it's a little rainy today. But that's all right. Still wonderful. Thanks for hanging out. Click the link below. Jump all in. We'll talk to you soon. Make it a great day. Aloha. Hey guys, remember when I said done is better than perfect? I left out one little part here, so I had to go back and record it, and I'm putting it out back into the video. But hey, tomorrow on day 3 of the 7-day online bootcamp, I'm actually going to talk about capturing leads and the importance of capturing leads and how you actually go about doing that. Because once you get people to show up, you get the traffic to show up to your front door, you gotta make sure that you get their information, because that's how you're gonna follow up with them and start building a relationship. Cool guys, if you haven't clicked on the link below, if you just wanna dive right in and start devouring the stuff, you can have this all set up with like literally 48 hours and have this up and rolling. Otherwise, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Aloha.